Welcome to part two of my interview with Craik, one of the co-founders of Vexxit, a company that's designed on building connections with businesses and their customers. And this is a great episode because it actually talks about the value of building connections within a leadership journey. And you're going to hear Polly talk about the value that she has found over her career and how she's able to connect with others in order to advance their success, but also her own success. Of course, there's other questions as well. I'm sure you'll learn lots of great things, just as I did as I interviewed her. So tune in and enjoy part two. Earlier, of course, when you were talking about Vexxit and kind of the purpose of Vexxit, building those connections and as a business owner, business leader, when you think of that for yourself, like the connections that you've been able to build in your career, how valuable has that been for you to be able to do that well?
Oh, I think I'd put that right up there as one of the most important things that I've done throughout my entire life. Starting with volunteering, just putting yourself out there for things that you care about. By contributing whatever it is that you may or may not have, and getting through our own individual imposter syndromes, you learn so much. And it's connections. Whether it's business, whether it's community involvement, whether it's your kid's school, whether it's anything at all, it's making an effort to listen along those journeys and take time to learn different things. You might even find an interest that you didn't know you had by having someone else share their passion. It's how you get introduced to so many different things in life. One of the most important organizations that I've belonged to, and it was 30 years this year, I've been a member of Entrepreneurs Organization. And, when I sold my business 6 years ago, why would I keep that membership? Because I didn't have a business anymore. But, when you sell your business as an entrepreneur, it was like, I lost my right arm. It was like, I just couldn't function. Right. And so I made the analogy, why would I cut off my left arm at the same time? Because that's where my community is. That's where, the people who I've shared my entire business life with, which overflows in, there's no real line. In my life personally, I've never had a line between business and personal, even, bringing up my kids, being an entrepreneur and being a woman in particular, it was just incorporated into my life. Like they went to work with me the moment they were born, they were under the desk, they were in the meetings, it wasn't an us or them, and it wasn't a business or home. It was just, here's our life, and we're going to be part of it together.
Right. Yeah. And that's actually a pretty special gift to give your children too, right? To experience what that looks like.
Yeah, you can call it a gift, but you have to ask them.
Pros and cons, maybe, right? Pros and cons.
Yeah, no, but they honestly, I think that both of our kids have been, they're very resilient and open-minded, and I'm very proud of the young adults that they've become.
Sure. Just to follow up a little bit more on the value of connections and building those connections, because I think a lot of business owners, they don't make time for that because they're so busy, right, with their day-to-day running their business, and they're not building those connections, whether it's with other business owners or with potential clients or whatever the case might be. What would your encouragement be to those people who are like, hey, I don't got time for that?
Then my response would be, that means that it's the exact right time for that. The moment you're in flux, that's when you should be diving into whatever network of people or organizations. Surround yourself with people who have the same experiences or background, people that you can draw on. I can't even imagine my world without being a part of the many organizations that I'm part of. And yeah, it takes time and it takes energy, but it's so fulfilling. And even right now, I've just finished a course program with people from all across Canada. And now I've got this other new network of people. And you look at technology and how that's allowing us to stay connected through all of these different avenues and opening up, all of a sudden these geographic barriers have come down because people are now more used to doing things online and having their meetings and sharing. Like I went through 9 months of a program. We've never met in person, but we have such a tight community now. You can do it. Now, it did take having some after hour cocktail parties, all on Zoom, but it's what makes it happen.
I like that. As kind of, I guess maybe not quite our final question, because I have a final fun question I'll ask after this one, but as the next question that I'd like to ask you, in the current business climate we have, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have a pandemic that's been going on. There's uncertainty around the economy, around what's going to happen in the next number of years. What do you believe are some of the most important questions that leaders need to be asking themselves about themselves or about their business? What kind of things do they need to wrestle through?
I think that one of the most important questions is, are you committed? Are you committed to being open-minded, to learning, to staying on top of the changes? You look at what's happening in the world of cybersecurity, and you look at the changes that we can't control, whether it's pandemic related or not. The way that people are doing business is very different. So are you up for it? It's not going to be easy. The other thing would be, what do I need to do to be better? What more learning can I do? I just believe so much in committing to constantly. I'm a podcast junkie myself, and I religiously make sure that I'm keeping abreast of things that can impact business moving into the future. Things that will impact the organizations that I serve, things that will impact the people that we employ, will impact, my kids and my family. I think we just have to be open to staying on top of technology, changes, disruption, and change. Change is hard, and it's going to get harder and harder. So if you start to train and adapt to that just becoming a normal part of your life, then I always say I want to make sure that my grandchildren can communicate with me and I can respond the way that they communicate. So I'm committed to staying up with it.
That's fantastic. And it's a perfect time to make a little bit of a plug for the Vexxit podcast. I know that you have a podcast that you run out of Vexxit, and
yes.
So if people want to tune into that, they can always find that on the Vexxit website or on any kind of podcast hosting platform.
Yes, it's on our Vexxit.com, or it's called Ask a Vexpert. And we bring professionals as well as entrepreneurs who share from their real life stories and expertise with professionals.
Okay, so people should definitely check that out.
Yeah.
As a final question for you, Polly, I always like to ask a fun one for people, and sometimes they come a little bit out of left field, the questions. This is one I haven't asked anyone before, so we'll see how it goes. So sometimes, and I've seen it in Winnipeg quite a bit, different restaurants name different things that you can order after famous people. So let's say, Polly, that there was a restaurant that was going to name a dish after you. They call it the Polly or something like that. What would that dish be? What would what kind of foods would be on there that best represent Polly?
The name of the dish or the type of food?
The type of food. What kind of food would it be?
It would be super spicy.
Okay.
And it would be, it would be hot and it would be spicy.
Okay, that's great. So you heard it here, folks. Look for the Polly at your nearest restaurant, and it'll be something hot and spicy. I love that answer. That's fantastic. Is it because you like spicy food, or is it because your personality is spicy, or both?
It's it's because I love spicy food
Okay. Yeah.
and I like hot food. That was both the hot and spicy, honest.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Good answer. Thanks for handling that one. Sometimes, yeah, like I said, they come out of left field, but you handled that question really well. So, for people who want to find out more about you, Polly, where can they find out more information? We've already referred to Vexxit. Is there anything else, anywhere else that they can look?
Sure. I'm on LinkedIn, Polly Craik. Most of the social channels, I'm Polly Craik, or at Vexxit.com. Either place.
Okay.
I love connecting with new people, and I love listening to stories and learning from others along my journey. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, well, it's my pleasure, and I'm just so glad that you're able to join us because I learned a lot from our conversation. For all of you who are listening in, just I hope you learned as much as I did from hearing Polly and her story and some of the things that she's been learning. Really encourage you to look up more of the work that she's doing through Vexxit and some of the other involvement that she has. But my encouragement always for leaders who are watching this is to just be intentional about your growth and about the gaps that you need to address as you're moving forward in your leadership role, whether it's running a business that's only been on the ground for a short amount of time or one that's been around for a long time. Take those next steps that you need to take. So thanks so much. Tune in for future episodes of the 10-Minute Leader, and you'll learn some good things, I hope.
Thank you, Ben. That was just great.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of the 10-Minute Leader. I hope it was valuable for you in your own leadership journey. I know we're all on a leadership journey. I know I'm growing every day. So thanks for tuning in and listening to what this guest had to say. My name is Ben Duick, and I'm the CEO and founder of Cantera Leadership. If you have any questions about leadership, feel free to reach out and let me know. I'd be happy to engage with you. Or if you have any suggestions for guests for the upcoming episodes, let me know. Have a great day.